this is Frank Abbruzzino with The Scoop. Okay, this is a new development that has a lot of people up in arms. It's the 3H Ranch. It's on Clark Road, south of Clark Road, east of 75. It's going to be about 6,500 residential units, 250,000 square feet of commercial space, so Publix and everything, 120,000 square feet of office space. They want to make it into another Lakewood Ranch style community. And a lot of people are upset. The planning commission in Sarasota County basically said they researched it and they unanimously approved it. Now it goes before the county board. To be honest with you, they're all controlled by Pat Neal and other developers, so they're going to reflect on that planning commission and say, well, they did their due diligence and they're just going to rubber stamp it, which is usually how it goes. And that's why Neal will put 50,000 or however much through PACs into getting these guys elected. It pays for them. And so basically, if you didn't guess it, this is a Pat Neal property. And they're going to start the construction next year. It's not slated to finish until 2040. So it's going to take a while. It's a huge, huge project out there. But again, a lot of people are upset about it. Neal says, well, look, calm down, calm down. We're going to have 447 acres of preserved space for native animals, habitats, wetlands, wildlife, and all that good stuff. Now, people look at that and he's thinking they'll accept it and they'll buy into it. But a lot of people recall what happened just here in this year, last year when the vote took place, where they had the wetlands and they wanted to rezone it. Neal did because he wanted to put a Publix there. Well, it was something like, and don't quote me on the numbers, 10% preserved. So everybody bought houses there thinking that will not be built out. Well, it went before the city commission, which he paid a ton of money to get all those guys elected, from Neil Pashota to Helen Moore and all those guys, and they said, oh, let's approve it. And gone. They changed the zoning on it. So even though he's saying this, Neal can go in there and change his mind and get it done because he owns a lot of these politicians. Unfortunately, that's the reality of it. I'm deep into politics. I'm a Republican, and people that know me know that I know what I'm talking about here locally. So, will he hold up the 447 acres? Probably, but we'll see in 2040. But I'll be well into my 70s and probably, maybe not even here because the growth is just too much. I just got a bill. They're adding $600 a month to my mortgage for insurance because it's increased. $1,700 last year, and they got to cover that, and then another $1,700 for this year, all over Ian. It's getting ridiculous. I don't know. I can afford it, but I can't imagine these people that can't afford this stuff. And rent, because homeowners have to pay more. They're saying it's because the home values are up and the cost of repairs up. They're going to pass that onto the renters, and so rent's going to continue going through the roof. Unfortunately, that's me as a realtor talking. So. Some people are concerned about what they're calling the 500-foot green belt buffer, and they're saying it's insufficient to separate 3H from other communities. Also, they're worried about the roads and the infrastructure, which is never planned. A lot of the politicians will go out there and put all these developments up, not worry about infrastructure until later. Hopefully they'll be out of office, another politician can worry about it, and the developer's like, well, we already did our due diligence. They'll pay for the traffic study out of their own pocket. They'll give it to the politicians, and they'll say, oh, it looks good, and they don't take into consideration a lot of factors out there. So planning commission did put in some stipulations, and they range from restrictions from the allowable units to the preserved acreage for ecological benefits. Now, this will probably be decided before the next election because you have Moran, who's pro developer. He's running for some other office. He doesn't want to go back to insurance, I guess. And then you got Neil Rainford, who's big time pro developer, going against Tom Knight, who's a local boy who used to be sheriff here. I've talked to him here myself about Venice as he knocked on my door. And I'm hoping to do an interview, and he seems like he's against the development. And you can see that with the first PAC sending out an attack on him. And it's weird because Rainford, I heard him speak one time, and all he talked about was national issues. I'm like, why isn't he talking county issues? Then the PAC sends out a national issue attacking Tom Knight. And so it's going to get nasty, folks. A lot of money. I don't want to divulge that now. Hopefully have an interview with Tom Knight. I doubt Rainford will sit down with me. He's not doing any debates and meeting any people. He's hoping just to send out a ton of mailers and people will vote for him. Politics, you gotta love it here in the area. All right, everybody. This has been Frank Abbruzzino with The Scoop. What do you think about this massive development?